What's up, guys? Welcome to the Eager to Love podcast. I'm your host, James, and this is my co-host, Brian Nels. And today, we got a special guest, Bennett. He'll be joining us after the break.
I always been that type of kid to find somebody better than leave her cause of all the pressure. Niggas think it's really funny when they play around. See a chick.
So we got our guest here. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yo, my name's Bennett Walsh. I'm from Pope France Preparatory School. I would just like to shout out my mom. I want to tell her I made out the trenches. Yes, sir. It's been a long journey. Sponsored by Nels Protein. Try my way out.
He put a whole sponsor out there.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm gonna tell you how I know this kid. Brian's gonna tell you how he knows this kid. So basically, me and him go. I don't want to say way back, but we've known each other for a while, and through a mutual friend. And so that's how I met him. And he beat me in a basketball game, but we don't talk about that.
No, I forgot about that. By the way, I'm going to Duke in D1. By the way. Not to flex on anyone or anything. Future Hooper. I was taught by Jackson Mel. Another shout out to the kid.
Brian, how do you know him? How do you know his crazy self?
Well, I remember sophomore year, this kid comes into Pope Francis, all looking like that with that nice little haircut, the nice chopped up haircut.
Sir, bowl cut Bennett, straight from Revs, New England Revolution Academy.
New kid on the block, straight from Renaissance. I mean, he's on the soccer team, and he just honestly seemed like a great kid. So, and I've known him for the past 3 years.
Yeah, no, he's a good kid. They both play soccer, so I kind of feel outnumbered. But
okay, I'm a hooper at heart. I'm a hooper at heart. You know that one. He knows that for sure.
So that's basically how we met and everything. But so this podcast, it's about our experiences relationship wise and how we had to, how we dealt with girls over the past, middle school, high school. But we added Bennett because you want to know what his side was. If you want to start in middle school, if that's where it started, you want to start in high school, doesn't matter. It's up to you.
I mean, I forgot this is about love, so let me just get into it. All right. So one thing I found out real quick, girls before girls. Focus on yourself before you commit to another person. Because you need to be like in a good state of mind, physical, like all that before you like commit to someone else. It's the most important thing. Take care of yourself first. Now, for me, my fault now. I didn't mean to cut you off, G.
I was just nicely said.
Man, you know how it is. I'm like white Gandhi. So to be honest, one thing I found out, like, especially with sports, is kind of like what like helped me a lot with soccer. Now, my sophomore year, I wasn't really that good. I mean, I was all right, but I wasn't like anything special. And like, I mean, like I had some things going on. Some relationships didn't work out. Women, bro, like, or dude, if you're into that, no hate on anybody. Like, I just kind of found out with this stuff, like, I wasn't ready for it. Like, I needed to, like, kind of, like, get myself better and, like, focus on myself more. So, like, for me, I focused a lot on soccer. I mean, started doing, like, track, lost a lot of weight. Like, I work out 7 days a week. I do these special workouts. I like to work out with this college guy now. Like, I put in so much effort. And I feel like Nels can, appreciate that, like, because he's seen me over the season. Like, unfortunately, we didn't have a full season, but
it's
like, I've been putting so much effort for myself because then I realized once I was like all good myself, like physically and mentally, I could commit to another person. Now, for me right now, I mean, I don't really date, to be honest. I kind of just do whatever because I've kind of found, like, for me, I haven't found that one, and I've like realized that like I'm just gonna wait for that person to come to me. You don't need to rush, like, for anyone. That's kind of been, like, my high school thing. Like, my freshman through junior year, I kind of, like, rushed stuff too much. And I was just, like, now, like, I'm realizing, I just got to wait for it to come to me, man. Let the women or men come, man, you know how it is.
So
No, but you can obviously relate, bro. Girls that Pope, no matter how much you try, it just always seems to fail somehow.
Shout out my religion class. We be waiting until marriage. That's on
Yeah.
God.
Quote him.
So, so Bennett, do you feel like doing soccer kind of distracted you, or kind of took more of your attention to soccer than onto girls? Is that how it kind of fell into place, or?
I mean, for me, when I'm in soccer, I mean, some days it's harder than others. You wake up and like I don't want to like I get like these workouts sent to me from this college trainer where it's like hour to like hour and a half long workouts. And for me, kind of soccer, like I kind of just like with like relationships, I kind of it's helped me, but at the same time, I kind of it's not my priority. Like for me in high school, I understand for like different people, they have different mindsets and stuff like that in sports. For me, soccer's my number one priority as I'm going to be playing in college and like I want to be ready for school. Like my GPA sophomore year, like I was worrying too much about like girls and other stuff and not stuff that wasn't like important to like me like for building like for working on the important building blocks in life. So like I fixed all my grades. Like I worked on like my soccer. Like anyone knows me knows I lost a lot of weight, really developed my overall game and kind of just like changed my whole personality. So like it's kind of helped me, even though I kind of tried less to focus on it, it then helped me focus on it because it helped me realize that like how I'm gonna find a good relationship like that and like what it will help me achieve. Because to be honest, I haven't had any girlfriend in high school. Now that doesn't mean I haven't been chilling, which I have, but like I've kind of just realized it's helped me realize what like when I'll find something real.
Nah, he needs to be the next Mason Mount. He can't have these females trying to bring him down and such, bro.
Oh, for real? Shout out that boy Mason Mount right there. Yes, sir.
So, I'm not really, I don't play sports, but do you feel like if you did do a relationship, do you think it would be easier with somebody who, because it's kind of like 50-50. If you date somebody who plays soccer, you date somebody who plays a sport, you guys' schedules are the same. Would it make it easier to be like, okay, it's like 9 o'clock, we can talk after practice, after homework, or would it still be more difficult?
That was my cat. Bro. Well, I mean, with that, I haven't really thought about that, but in the end, you always have something with like someone else's schedule because like everybody
Yeah.
lives different lives. Everybody has his own like main character. Like they're gonna have something that like is gonna conflict with what you're doing. So in the end, if you can't make it past that and like you can't work with that, sometimes that makes sense because sometimes people have things where like they're just too busy and no matter how much you love someone or like someone, sometimes a relationship like just isn't gonna work because it's like things don't line up. But if you really do like that person, sometimes you just gotta get through that rough patch or those rough patches during the season. But in the end, it's all up to like the people and schedules. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of like a circumstantial thing, and also how much you like that person. But I mean, when you get to college, it's definitely gonna be a lot harder because like I got
Yeah.
invited to the school's honor program and Dean College. So like and like invited to do like participate in the soccer program, like a roster spot. So I mean I feel like that's something I'll experience, but I mean you see it in like everyday lives of like celebrities who are both like rappers and stuff. They're like, oh like we do different tours. And it's just I feel like it's something like it's a challenge that even though it's hard for relationships, sometimes it's too much or sometimes it helps strengthen the relationships or weakens them. I mean, it's all up to the people.
Yeah, definitely. Because when I like when I try to have a relationship with somebody who plays sports, it's difficult, especially if you don't play a sport and you're not doing anything. You're at home, you're just chilling. So it is hard. I feel like for me, it is hard, but you never know. Like you don't realize, okay, that girl or guy could be going through like a crazy schedule and they're really making their time for you. And it could be at like 12 o'clock at night, but they're still staying up till the late just to have that time with you. Because I think it is important. It takes me to my question towards Brian. Like, I know you play sports too. Can you agree with what Bennett said about how having a relationship with somebody who plays sports have the same mentality where it just depends on preference or
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, what, like bringing back the soccer, for example, if the boy and girl, they both play soccer and they both had games at co-joining times, then that complicates things. Is normally the significant other, they will see each other's games, watch them play. But unfortunately, with two games at the same time, even if that person's doing an away game, like if we were to like bring Pope into it, for example, you can't see him. You can't see him at all.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah,
that's a good answer.
straight facts, boy. Getting that.
So Bennett, do you feel like at a certain point you dated this girl this long and you felt like she was gonna be the one? Like, did you think?
I'll be straight up with you about that. Hell no, bro. My last girl I dated. Ooh, hell no, I did not think she was the one. I'm not gonna speak what her name was. But
No.
it was kind of something where like I didn't even really like her, but like I just kind of did it just to have a girl, and that was not the right decision. She's definitely not the one. Hell no. Shout out my boy. Nah, but like, no, I've not experienced that. Like,
No.
I'm in high school. If you have, I mean, that's good for you. But like, I feel like most of the time, like you'll find that kind of stuff like in college or after college. I feel like high school is like we're still developing mentally and physically, like our brains, so chemistry and all that. So I don't really think in high school. I only know like one person that like they married the person they were dating in high school.
That's what I said. I'm sorry to cut you off, Brian, but the first podcast, I was like, you're not gonna find, if you have a middle school relationship, it's not gonna go to high school. You have something in high school, you could have a high school sweetheart. When I was like in middle school, I was like, I thought I was gonna have a high school sweetheart because I thought everybody else did. And then I was like, I'm already a senior. I don't have a high school sweetheart, so I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You're not really gonna find somebody in high school, but if you're lucky, you do. And I've seen, especially during quarantine, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but like couples who dated for like 2 years, 3 years broke up. And I was just like,
you showed how like people actually were when you were separated. That kind of showed the colors. That's like the friends who like you only saw like in person. People who experienced that. I mean, to be honest, I'm not saying like I'm clouded, but I know a good amount of people. And there were some people who I have still not heard from after quarantine because they would only see me in person, and that's when they needed something. So
it goes for it, and that doesn't just go for relationships. That can go for any type of friendship too.
Yeah.
Spitting, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's true. Cause Brian, me and him, I feel like him and like a few other people I talked to consistently during the quarantine. And I feel like it just shows a great deal of like who messes with you and who doesn't. Because there's some people I thought were cool with, and then but people can also feel like, oh, you didn't hit me up. Like, James, you didn't hit me up. So like I felt like you weren't trying to be my friend. And so it kind of has to be 50-50. I know I did like I made an effort to talk to Brian, probably not every single day, but keep in touch with him because anything can happen. So
yeah, and that's another thing too. I mean, kind of staying in a toxic relationship, but that's why you want to keep your friend group small, because every time you expand your atmosphere for friends, there's a lot of people who are fake and there's some people who are real. You never know.
Listen, like this, I'll tell you something. I was told by my grandfather, straight wisdom from the Vietnam vet. Listen, keep your close friends to a minimum and your friends to a large, because you want to have a good contacts, because like you can use that later in life. You know people, like you get stuff, but there's people who you tell stuff to, like personal. Keep that group small. Like I'm trying to make it out the mud, so I need a close group that will help support me, bro.
So really, getting out of Springfield is really like getting out the trenches. Is that what you're saying?
Nah, bro. I've been in many trenches. I've lived in North Carolina, Okinawa, and Japan. Like everyone has been in the trenches because it's the building blocks of my young life. I'm gonna make it to the top, hopefully.
So comparing those places, where is out of the trenches? Like, are you referring to like if you go to LA, you're out of the trenches? If you go, like, I guess the only thing I can think of is California.
It's a figure of speech. It's a figure of speech, to be honest.
No, I know, but people are like, oh, I just want to get out the trenches. They're talking about like.
I feel like they're just kind of talking about their hometown.
Bro, you just see that in so many rappers. Like,
like my boy Jack Chamel. Shout out the kid again. He's trying to make out the hood at West Springfield. So shout out the kid. He's gonna make it out. But like, yeah, like I feel like when people say trenches, they kind of mean like really like their hometown. Like, well, for some, it's different for people. But I say because like, like when I'm going to college, it's definitely gonna be like an hour away because I need to get out of Springfield and
Hey,
experience something.
same for me, bro. Same for me. I might be in out towards Boston next year.
Damn,
So,
well, you gotta be spitting with all the Boston ladies.
of course.
And
That's funny.
Wait,
I'm not even leaving Springfield really. Well, I might go to Westfield State. I'm not. I feel like I'm the only one who's not leaving
I mean,
Springfield.
Westfield State, I was like gonna go there maybe for a track. Like the coach gave me like an offer, kind of like they were like, yeah, like come like check this out and stuff. But like I got a bunch of money off at Dean, so I think I'm gonna commit there. But I'm kind of thinking about it because I have a couple other options, just trying to see what's best for me. I got a couple offers, so I'm just thinking about it. When the end, do what's best for you, and remember, put yourself before worrying about women and relationships.
Facts. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you go to college, oh my, the amount. I'll say this: if you can walk into college single, that I feel
Yeah.
like see you got to break that off senior year if you're with somebody because like
Nah. Like I'll put this up there. I've been reading this book called Naked Roommate, and like it
Yo,
explains a
what?
lot.
Yo, hold up. No,
Pause.
no,
That's
what?
that's what the book's called. I'm being serious. Look it up. But
Small.
it's this book called The Naked Roommate, and so it's just a bunch of tips before you go to college. And there's a section about dating and relationships, and it explains. When you go to college, you're obviously gonna have a much more or a bigger experience. You're gonna have a lot more opportunities and everything. But for the most part, you know,
Opportunities to spread.
all- it's all being happy in college. You might get a girlfriend here or there, but that doesn't
Boyfriend
mean
or a boyfriend, we don't discriminate now.
so hold on.
put on a negative.
Y'all disagree if I say like go try to go into college single, but if you're dating somebody, right? This is what I really mean by like cut it off. If you're staying here and she's going all the way to California or vice versa, I might end it because you're doing your thing out in Cali and I'm staying here.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think it's all circumstantial because it kind of depends
Yeah.
like where the
yeah.
person's going and all that.
Like here's the thing. Like I'm like talking to a girl right now. Like we become so love the Jesus back on Bennett. But if me and this girl we become close, we somehow start dating soon. If it's a long term, and I date her right up until I go to college, then I'm obviously gonna have to say goodbye to her
Yeah.
because I don't know where she's going. I'm going out east, so you never know, bro. You never
Yo,
know.
I'm just gonna be
I'm
straight up with you. Straight up with you. Listen, with that stuff, it's all circumstantial and feelings at the time. Second, here is a life advice. So when you're in college, you're gonna be meeting some nice females, some people. Now listen, if you were dating or talking to someone, my boy Johnny told me to remember this.
be careful what you say because you have Jesus behind you.
No, not that. Just be careful what you leave behind with that person. Hoodies, jackets, phone chargers. Make sure, not saying from experience, make
Yeah,
sure you don't leave those behind because you will not probably be getting them back. All I
My
gotta
ex still has
say.
my hoodie.
Oh,
My ex still has my hoodie. Brian knows. I still
Oh,
haven't gotten it back.
bro.
damn.
Nah, the question is, do you want it back, bro? That thing's been gone for a while. It's a Nike hoodie too. bro.
I gave her my like least favorite hoodie, but then I miss it so much because I have a video of me wearing it, so I'm kind of like I miss it. But it's been like what a year and a has it been a year and a half, right?
I mean, obviously, like last time we were out together, we were at your house, James. Birthday party.
Yeah, that was like a year and a half, bro. So I don't know. I mean, if like my dad told me, he was like, if you gave a girl your sweatshirt, then let them keep it because at the end of the day, like you did give it to them. And let's be honest, if I had that sweatshirt and I had a new girlfriend, your girlfriend wouldn't want a hoodie that your ex had, and I would probably give that one because it's my least favorite. Because I'm kind of like picky with my sweatshirts. I love them. So materialistic things like you might have like my ex, I gave her like a promise ring, dude. I don't know what she did with it. Maybe threw it away, still has it. but like I never got that stuff back. And she's like, "Oh, you're just gonna give it to your next girl," and I'm like, "Okay, then don't don't give it back. It's all good." So,
A question from one of the fans.
yeah, go ahead. Ask. What's the
All
question?
right, so my boy Johnny's son McNally said, "All right, so I gotta read this off my phone." He said, "This is an interesting question. What do you do if the girl? So like, you're dating a girl, let's say like 6 months, and you like this girl." And he said, "What do you do if you find out the girl you like and have been dating is a dude?"
Okay.
So I want to ask, how do we
I'll,
respond to this?
I'll answer that in the most. Okay. It honestly depends. I'm more in favor of like what you want. And if you're asking in a way, if it was me, I feel like you should have told me that in the beginning, and that's like a trust thing. Not to say that I would have still dated you, but I feel like it's more of a trust thing. You should have told me, and that breaks my trust because that's big. And
That's
so,
fact.
but if you're in 6 months and you're in love with that person, and if
And to be honest, if you haven't found out by now, like I think
yeah,
you
I
might be
mean
blind.
that's
Like
You
that's
honestly should have found out because that's scary. That's all.
no, but I feel like, I want to say in this way, like it's more of a question as if they were like trans or something, and this is like in college down the line. I would answer that by like work it out with them, because in today's society, like people are becoming trans, and you shouldn't change your mind because they were a guy before or whatever. You have, and if you don't understand that, read about it, like look it up, because you could actually really be in love with that person. And the best thing you can do is accept them, talk to them about it, but be like, hey, look, this is something you should have told me in the beginning, and be like respectful about it. Don't try to like change the way you act now because she's trans. But it's just something you have to read about. I mean, you just gotta understand that for yourself, because you don't want to come out as disrespectful.
damn, spitting.
Brian, what do you think? You're
I
quiet.
mean, I'm not really into this. Oh, my fault. I forgot. I thought you said Bennett. Like to be honest, if it was Nels, then I would date him. But like anyone else, I don't know.
That's what I tell him too. I was like, yo,
Oh, I was
Brian's
just kidding. I was just kidding.
I'm not.
Yo, that's us.
Yeah, we keep it like that, bro. But no, like James said, it's all about trust.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if that guy, trans or not, girl, lesbian or not, don't matter. If the trust wasn't there to begin with, then what's the whole point of their relationship? Relationships are built off of trust.
It's trust, but at the same
individual, because if you can't trust the individual, then it's almost like you're lying to yourself every time you see that person. So it just jeopardizes everything, and that's how the worst breakups happen.
But that's like, it's trust at the same time, and I kind of want to go back to what I said and like kind of edit what I said. If you grew a bond with that person and you really like them, stay with them. I get it's a trust thing, and you of course work it out. That's my first thing. Talk to them about it, but do not like let that affect. Like, look, if you really love this person and I really like, they're really what I want, stay with them. Talk to them about it. Kind of learn more about why they made that, not why they made that decision, but like how you can like, I guess, adjust. But for me, if I'm in love with you, I'm in love with you, and that's how it is. But kind of do that. That it is trust, and it is hard to gain that back. But definitely try to work it out. I mean, that's like my best like answer to that question.
Damn. I mean, my heart is just filled with knowledge right now. That was fire. You spit that.
Yeah,
All right.
hey, that's the point of this podcast, Bennett. That's the point of this podcast.
Yeah. So, thank you, Bennett, for being our guest today, sharing your stories and giving your insight on things. It is appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to talk in this podcast.
Love to have you again, brother.
Man, it was all good. Appreciate the ad here. Thank y'all for like letting me come on here. I just like to shout out one more time. Shout out the gang, the boys, how we make it out the mud. You know how it is. Shout out Noah Baldwin, by the way, absolute goat. And who else I shout out? Shout out Duke University for giving me a scholarship, play D1. All right, check y'all out.
Well, so that was it. There's a great discussion with Bennett, great insight on what he thought as and his perspective as an athlete, and which is great about this podcast. So we're gonna do more features down the line. We'd love to have you be a guest on our show. We would like a girl to be on here, so we have a girl's perspective, looking towards with guys and how she viewed it from her lenses. But that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Hey, yo. And anyone looking for reserve spots, just add me on Snap, Brian Allen 0, and text me for requests.
You do that. He's in charge of the features. Thank you for being today. Eager to Love Podcast. I'm James, and this is
Brian. What's up?
all right. Peace and love. Stay blessed. Be safe. And I'll catch you guys later.